Whoops. I had my mic turned off. All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Derek. I am the head silicone slinger here at Amavidi. And we're going to do some custom pours for customer orders. And I got two of them, so I should be able to get through these fairly quickly. I've got a Dorian Gray Metropole in N, and I've also got a bumper cars Saturnalia in A10 as well. Hey, Donald, how you doing, man? All right, so first one we're going to do is the Metropole. And this one is a Dorian Gray. So this is a two-color pour. So I need my silver, and I need my red. And get a couple of cups here. All right. By the way, if you've got any questions or anything, drop them in the chat. I'm happy to answer questions about the process, about silicone in general, about pigment, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Give me a second. I need to load up on some silicone here. Oh. All right, so just loading up on some silicone. Another few seconds. Okay. Sorry about the delay there. By the way, my cameras are over here, but my scale is over there. And so, yeah. All right. So let's get this one going here. And like I said, this is going to be a two-color pour. But I'm just going to start off with my plain silicone to start. And we're just going to mix this like crazy. Mix, mix, mix. And I'm not too worried about the air at this point because I'm going to vacuum this here in a second and I'll pull all that air out. So I need to section this off. All right, so like I said, this is a two-color pour, so I need 2 cups. And the way this one is going to work is we'll do the red in the small cup. Actually, I'm going to bring that down a little bit more so you can see a little bit better. There we go. Right now, I'm just trying to get the pigment incorporated into the silicone. All right. Now we need our silver. Now the way this one is going to go is it's going to be kind of a fade, a marbled fade from red at the end down to silver at the base. All right. You can see that silvers. I'm just checking for anything besides bubbles. I don't want any clumps. I just want to make sure that the bubbles are, yeah, see that? Did you see the red? It's a really pretty red. All right, so now these are going to go into the vacuum chamber real quick. And this is a really good time to ask questions if you've got them, because, well, vacuum chamber is just kind of boring. I say that. It's actually really cool because as it's pulling the air out, it bubbles up. All right. All right, so let's check the chat. Do you just wake up in the morning and think, I'm going to make sculptures for a living? Um, Actually, it kind of almost worked that way. I actually do a lot of work in silicone for other things, and I was trying to find something else I could do with silicone, and that's when I decided, well, I can make sculptures. And so I've been doing that for the last 3 years. Hey, Brand Flakes over on YouTube, how you doing? Asking if George is here. No, I'm at the studio today, so it's just me and my minions. Hey, happy holidays. Yeah, I keep forgetting that tomorrow is Christmas. Yeah, man, I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's a job, but it's a fun job. Okay, almost done vacuuming. But yeah, I do a lot of silicone work for other projects, and this just kind of became a side project for a little while. It was like, can I do it? And then turns out that I could, and so ended up starting a business out of it, and it's been fun. Ooh, Dracon? Dr. Akon? Dracon? I don't know. Whatever the name is. Resin 3D printing, I love it. A lot of my masters are 3D printed as well. I have a resin printer as well. The problem with the resin printer is that it can cause cure inhibition with silicone. So it makes it hard to make molds of resin 3D printed masters. So yeah, I don't get to use it as much as I want to. Oh, Vistra. So how did I get the mold for this? These are all my designs. So I create the master, whether it's by hand sculpting or 3D printing. And it's 3D printed. I do the original design work and all of the 3D modeling and everything about it. So from start to finish, this is all coming from my head. All right, so let's get this back out of the way here. Yeah, Brand Flakes. Resin, 3D printing resin can cause cure inhibition, and it's really it only matters when you're to make the molds. But you have to do a lot of work to make sure that the the master doesn't cause you to have to remake molds multiple times. And also what's weird about it is that certain colors and certain brands don't cause any problems, but others do. And it's kind of random. Even within one brand, certain colors can cause cure inhibition. All right, so this is going to be how we do this. I'm trying to be gentle here because I don't want to introduce any more air. We just spent a bunch of time vacuuming out all of the air. Okay. So, I don't know if you can see that. We'll bring the camera in a little bit. We got that red right on top of that silver. You can see it, so I'm going to bring the camera over here a little bit. Okay. And I've already got mold release in my mold, so we're good to go there. Oops, let's make sure we get the get this camera in the right place. There we go. And we should see the red come first, and then the silver. There it is. And we should end up with just a little trace of red here at the end. There we go. Now I got a little bit of extra here, so I'm going to throw it off into a squishy mold. So anytime anybody orders a custom, well, number one, I always do them on a live stream. And so they actually get to watch their sculpture being made. And if I have any extra, I try to make a squishy out of the same silicone. That way they've got a little something extra that is made from the same materials. Now, I don't always have extra, so it's not always possible, but yeah. So there's one. And now we need to bring this back around. And now we're going to sign our artwork. And I call this my signature. But each of my minions has their own way of finishing the base. And so we can actually tell who made what just by the way that the base looks. So yeah, that is the Dorian Gray Metropole in A10. All right, let's go back and check the chat, see what we got going on. Hey, Chris, that actually sounds really cool. I think you're dropping or encasing the flowers in resin. That's interesting. What are we making? We're making silicone sculptures. Megbox asks, can we buy these? Yes, actually, if you go to my profile on TikTok, there's a link down at the bottom that says amavidi.com/TikTok. Hit that link, and that'll take you to my web store. Well, I'll take you links to my web store, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, all the different things. You can find all kinds of stuff there. Hey, Vistra, yeah, I love these two colors together. The funny thing is that when I first did this color combination, we joked that it looked like a bloody knife because of that silver and that red. So in production, or not in production, in pre-production, we referred to that color as the bloody knife. But all of these have funny names that we gave them throughout the development process. Ah, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so we got one more to make here. This is going to be a Saturnalia in bumper cars. So this is going to be a 3-color pour. I need to clean up my mess a little bit here. Because I don't need my silver and I don't need my red. All right, so this one is actually 3 colors, and it is blue, purple, and pink. Which, if you know your pride colors, then you know which flag that is. And oh, here, I'll show you something interesting. This pink is black light reactive. So I'm going to turn off the lights. Here's my black light. And that pink just pops like crazy. Okay. So this one's going to be black light reactive. Okay. So this is a tricky one because some of my pigments are in a liquid form. So like these two are liquid, but this one is dry. So I have to do a little bit of adjusting because these have a silicone fluid in them, and they're going to change the viscosity of the silicone. So I got to pay attention on this one. All right, so let me get my silicone together. Oh, I forgot to announce. I always do this, but I forgot to today. That one, the Dorian gray, was number 367. So I forgot to announce it, but the Dorian gray, the silver and red that we just did, that was for order number 367. And the one we're getting ready to do is order number 594. All right. So I forgot to do this earlier, but I always announce the last 3 digits of the order number so that folks can know when their order is being made. Okay, so I got my colors. I need to get my silicone together. So give me just a minute to get my silicone together. And like I said, if you have any questions or anything, drop them in the chat. Okay. Apologize for the delay there. And we're just going to mix. Like I said, I got part A and part B here. And silicone comes in 2 parts. It's kind of like resin. You got part A and part B. And from there, you can get different firmnesses. You can get, there are a lot of additives that you can use to adjust certain properties of it. Like adding silicone fluid reduces the viscosity. Adding deadener or slacker reduces the firmness. And so You can get really, really specific if you want to. You can even blend silicones together to get specific firmness. Okay, so now this is a 3-color pour. And I'm going to section this off. There's first one. And there's the second one. Okay. All right. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I'm going to start with my powder. Move this out of the way. There we go. Get these back in front of the cameras. This is a really pretty purple. It's got like a blue iridescence under it. I say that under. It's got a blue iridescent undertone to it. And just checking for clumps or anything. Looks good. Okay. So now this pink is just incredibly strong. So I'm going to use like five drops of pigment on this one. Oops. Well, that was a little bit more than 5 drops, but there's not a whole lot in there. And you'll see just how bright that goes. Now this is a little bit fluorescent. So I want to tone that down just a little bit. And we do that by desaturating that color with a bit of white. And by the way, I apologize if I'm missing anything in the chat. This one is a little bit tricky, and so it kind of has my attention. Okay, so now we got kind of a, it's almost a cotton candy kind of color. There we go. That's about what I want. Now the other one, and this is also a really intense color, so I don't need to use too much of it, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. We'll get this mixed up. And since it's a liquid pigment, it gets incorporated really fast. Just need a little bit of white to give us just a little bit of opacity and to drop that color just a bit. We want almost like a baby blue. Yeah. That's kind of what we're going for there. Now I need one thing. Where is my... Huh. Ah, there it is. To this one. Now, since these have silicone fluid in them, I need to add just a little bit of silicone fluid to this one because I want to make sure that the viscosity of each of the colors is exactly the same. It's going to be hard to do. Might do just a little bit more. But if I don't make the viscosities the same, they're going to pour at different speeds. All right, I think we're about there. Okay, so I'm getting ready to drop these into the vacuum chamber. So if I've missed anything in the chat and there are questions you want me to answer, just drop them in the chat again so that I can get to them. Because I love answering questions. I like to teach. Has anybody figured out which pride flag this is? Vermont country. I'm not actually making molds. I'm casting silicone in molds. And this is the mold that I am going to be using. Low Crime again. How you doing? How do I get different firmnesses? Well, you can buy it in different firmnesses. But if you want to get to a specific firmness for a specific project, then you can blend your silicones together to get different firmness. You can also use slacker, which will soften it. There are also hardeners. So you can really play with that firmness either by getting the silicone you want in the first place, blending it, or adding hardeners or deadeners to them. Yeah, Vermont, you got it. That's the flag. How long does it take to make one and ship it out? Generally speaking, we ship out in about 5 business days, and then transit time is whatever it is to get to where you are by UPS. I'm sorry, United States Postal Service. We do first class or priority mail, depending on weight or what you choose. And yeah, so from the day you order to the day you get it in your hands, maybe 10 days. Karina, what got me into this? Well, I do silicone for other projects. I do a lot of resin casting, and so we use silicone molds for that. And this was just kind of a way for me to use silicone in a way that I hadn't been using it. And it started off as a little hobby, and now it's turned into a little business. What am I making today? We are doing, this is a Saturnalia, and the first one we did was a Metropole. Are you, Vermont says, not seeing it? What was it? I don't see what specific thing you're making. Well, this is the mold. If you go to the link in my bio, it says umvd.com/TikTok. There'll be a link in there. You hit that link, then there's going to be one for the web store. And if you go to the web store, you can sort by different models, and you can see it that way. Hey, Nico! Thanks for joining over on YouTube. But yeah, that pink is blacklight reactive. Yeah, TikTok, it's a little bit too spicy for TikTok sometimes. So I try to keep it, you know, as G-rated as I can. All right. So like I said, this is going to be a 3-color pour, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. So we have our purple, which is going to be our middle color, but we need to, let me make sure my camera is in the right place here. But we need to get our pink on one side. Okay. And then we need our blue on the other side. And I just want a little line of purple right down the middle. All right, let's like, so YouTube can see it, but I'm gonna bring in TikTok here real quick. I think you can see that. And then I'm gonna pour off of this edge. So hopefully, if things go well, all three colors will come out at exactly the same time. It doesn't happen that way very often, but sometimes it does. All right, make sure we're facing the right direction. Get the mold out there. Okay. And here we go. And of course, the blue always races to the front. But there we go. Just little micro movements to create some marbling. And there we go. And you can see that purple right in the middle, pink on one side and blue on the other. Now let's get this off into squishy mold. One last little bit here. There we go. Okay. And we're going to sign our artwork real quick. There we go. Oh, here's a little pro tip for you. Always keep your cups with your mold. And that way, if there's ever any troubleshooting that you need to do later, you've got silicone that hasn't touched the mold. You can do some troubleshooting this way. Basically, if it cures in the cups, but not in the mold, then I know there was something wrong with the mold. Maybe I used the wrong mold release or something like that. If it doesn't cure in either of them, then that tells me that my mix was off, or I used some silicone that has either expired or has gotten contaminated in some way, or maybe I doubled up on part A instead of part A and B, things like that. All right, so let me check on questions. It's just a sculpture, just a sculpture. All right, so any other questions? Otherwise, I am going to wrap it up and get on with my day. So questions go in the chat and I will be happy to answer them. Is the mold silicone or urethane? The molds are all made from the same silicone I use for making the sculptures. That way I know that everything from the beginning of the process all the way through to the final product, everything is body safe. I haven't, oh, somebody's asking about battery box. Did I leave room for that? I haven't done anything with electronics yet. I have tried. Actually, I have done a few, but I haven't been satisfied with the results. So it's on my list of things to do. Oh, Magra. So there's finally something on TikTok worth buying. Yeah. Okay. What mold release am I using? Okay. It is, man, ease release 200. This is a good universal release. It'll work for silicone on silicone or resin on silicone. So that's what I use. Yeah, I just say the last 3 digits of the order number. That way the customer has a little bit of privacy. And I don't go sharing order numbers. Anyway, yeah, it's just last 3 digits. It allows me to identify something for people without being, without giving out names. All right. Anything else? Does anybody have any other questions? Because we got our Dorian gray going. If you missed it earlier, this is what the Dorian gray looks like. It's got silver and red, and it's really, really pretty when it's done. Rick's something. I don't know. Can't remember. Can't figure it out. Yeah, Polytech cups. I just use these cups because it's what I've got. Most of the makers who are doing indie stuff use smooth-on products. What about order 893? Let me see, which one is that? Let me check my list. Ah, 893. That one is shipping this afternoon. That comes out of my inventory. So those go, I don't actually have to do a custom pour for those. So unless I'm doing something interesting, like if I'm experimenting, because sometimes my experiments go into those packages as well. If you're wondering, I have a a mystery pack. It comes with 3 toys, and you'll get at least 2 different firmnesses in that. And sometimes it comes out of my normal inventory or it comes out of my experiments pile. It just kind of depends on what I've got and how I can put the mixture together to get the mix right as far as the 3 different models, as well as any specific requests that people might have, like if they want to go towards the firmer end or the softer end. Yeah, it's shipping out this afternoon. It is not the last, but today is the last day that we're going to be doing production for a little while. So I want to make sure it gets out today. All right, I'm just going to do a little cleanup here. By the way, this is 99% isopropyl alcohol, and it's one of the few things that will actually cut through liquid silicone. But it's also good for killing all the wee beasties. The wee beasties. I call them wee beasties. They're the little bugs and things that you don't want in your toys, viruses or bacteria, mold, things like that, yeast. So everything gets sanitized before we get started. All the cups are sanitized. So yeah, it's just a way for us to make sure that all of the everything that goes out is as good as we can make it. Oh, what do I use to hold the molds? I use a stand. This is a stand that I designed and 3D printed. So I have a bunch of these standardized across everything. So everything has the same general shape in terms of, you know, it's got a flat surface like this, and then that can just set right on here, and it supports the whole thing. Hey, MFA, good to see you. By the way, if you are a fan of silicone, like silicone toys and stuff, check out MFA Designs. They're in the chat right now. Hit their name and go follow them, and give them a few likes or something. I mean, I really like their designs. I really like what they're doing. And one of these days, we're actually going to get MFA Designs on the live stream. I do a live stream every Sunday night, although I'm on hiatus right now because of the holidays. But every Sunday night, I do a live stream where we talk about the community and the business in general. And sometimes we get real specific about things like silicones or pigments, or you know, how we come about and how we dive into designs. But I need to get MFA on the live stream so we can gossip and do all the things. It's actually really fun to talk to the other makers because we all have our own little ways of doing things. Ah, Vermont, thank you. Thank you for the sharing. MFA, yeah, you might just be starting out. You might be a little baby shop, but you're doing the right thing. So I gotta give you a shout out. Oh, that's right. You do custom dyed rope. I just saw that. That's one of your pinned videos on TikTok. So if you're interested in rope, that's definitely a place you can go. Am I going to be doing any unboxings? Not on TikTok. I might show off some new designs on YouTube and Twitch, but I can't do it on TikTok. It's just too spicy. Hey, Vermont, you know, it just depends on what you want. You know, you don't have to sell a lot to be successful or to feel successful. It just depends on what kind of business you want to have. Is it something that you just want to something that will fund your hobby or fund your other projects? That's totally cool. Or if you want to try to make it something that you can do for a living, that's totally cool too. Or something in between. It's just, you know, make the business you want it to be and get what you want out of it. Don't feel like you have to, you know, have thousands of dollars of sales every day to feel successful. If it does what you want it to do, you're good. Yakety yak. My YouTube channel, youtube.com/Amavidi, AMAVIDI, or you can hit the link in my bio. It's I think the link is amavidi.com/TikTok. And when you hit that link, you'll see a page, and there will be a link to YouTube on there. All right. Well then, I'm going to jump over to. Well, I say jump. I'm going to continue on with YouTube and Twitch for a bit. I've got some new designs that I say it's one new design, but I'll show that off here in a minute. But I do have an interesting process that I think could be interesting. An interesting process that could be interesting. I've been talking too long. I'm done. All right, TikTok. I will see you later. And we'll do this again sometime. Bye. All right, I got to stop TikTok here. And now. Okay. All right. Hey, Brain Flakes. Thanks for dropping by. All right, so for everybody that's on YouTube and Twitch, let's see. I mentioned that I have a new design. Sorry, I'm just trying to get rehydrated here. Okay. Where is it? All right, so this is the new design. Again, we go for very simple, very elegant design. It's about 7¼ inches full length, probably 6¼ inches usable, probably about an inch at the head, maybe just a little bit more, maybe an inch and an eighth. And then the shaft at the thickest part here is probably about an inch and a quarter. But it has these ridges right here. And now what's interesting about this one, not necessarily that one, but this one, oops. This is the same thing in a different color, but I did this with, so it's got a firm inner core and a very thin layer of 0030 or 0050. I can't remember which one I used on this one. So it's got some stiffness, but these ridges are super squishy. And the head, there's just a little bit of give and then the firmness under the surface. This is probably the closest I've got to, kind of a real, something that approximates realistic textures, time, etc. Anyway, I'm mixing up my words. One of the things that's kind of interesting about this one, I don't know if you can see it, but the shaft is actually a pentagon. So it has this nice ventral ridge, but then it also has just a little bit of extra girth down here at the bottom. So anyway, that is the new design. I haven't come up with a name for it yet. I have another one. This is one we did on the live stream a couple days ago. This is really pretty. This teal and this gold. It's really nice. All right. And with that, I am done. I am completely and utterly wiped out. So I'm gonna have to bail. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me. We'll do this again sometime. Bye.